Welcome back to the Icon Living Podcast. This is episode 2 with your host, King Obe. Today, I want to speak about connection. And I feel like the space of the internet, we forget that connecting with people is what makes them remember you. A connection is kind of what makes you iconic in a sense. And people connect through stories. Right. And I feel like that's why stories are like super important because it's like your story has moments in it that connects with others. This connection is what drives people to favor you or to like you or to want to get to know more of you or want to join your community, want to patronize your products because your story and the way you connected to them could be so inspirational. Like, I'm sure you've heard it, especially with like music artists. It happens a lot in the music industry, but it's now, since the internet, is happening in all types of ways. But in the music industry, you probably would have heard an artist say, um, I'm performing a song and somebody will come up to me after the show and say something like, oh, I was going to connect suicide. And this song that you wrote really connected with me and I didn't kill myself and I'm still here, and you might take that in and be like, wow, what a great hit. He wrote a hit, he wrote a record. But then it's like, nah, actually he connected. He or she shared a story that connected in a deep way, which resonated with that person so they can live another day. They can get on with their lives and have a better life. And when I speak to my clients before they start working with me at Content Sage, they are at that stage in their life where they're they don't know how to tell stories online. They don't know how to infuse their stories with epiphanies or talk to an audience, build an audience. And that's what I help them do. I help you identify pivotal moments in your story, as in what made you tick, what made you talk, what made you take that action? How did you take that action? I help you identify key moments in your origin story, to your hero story, to even what were you thinking to get out of certain situations you're in. When you think about some of the basic stories, frameworks is there's a problem. Then you take the journey to get out of the problem, right? And then there's a solution. And this is the typical story frame of everything. It's just like the other day I was watching this movie called Inside Out, right? I was watching part 2. There's a part 1, just when the little girl was small, and then there's part 2 where she's like a teenager now. She's going through high school and some new emotions and feelings are coming out. So part 1 was introducing the emotions and feelings to her, right? So anger, sadness, happiness, these are like emotions that the movie was portraying. You will hear from sadness perspective, you will hear from happiness perspective, joy, you will hear from anger's perspective. And then now in this movie, those characters are back, but she's growing up. So new emotions and feelings are being introduced, to like anxiety and jealousy and etc. These things are being introduced, right? And they show how this young human is developing with dealing with these new feelings and emotions. But one thing, the reason why I'm telling you this right now is because one thing that really stood out to me was that in that movie, they showed how stories can help us form beliefs, right? So let's just stop there for a second. Stories help us form beliefs. Okay. That means when a belief is formed, a story is consistently being told to keep the belief solid, right? So like you got core beliefs, you got, shaky beliefs, you got all types of beliefs within you. But on each level of these beliefs, it's a story that's being repeated back to you. and you're like confirming it, you're agreeing to it. And because you're confirming and agreeing this story, it solidifies this belief even further. And guess what comes out of beliefs, right? Your perceptions and how you perceive the world is how you take action and etc. So I feel like the world that we're in is shaped by our beliefs, which is ultimately shaped by our identity. But right now, we're not speaking about the identity level, we're speaking about the belief level. And one thing about belief is we don't have to build it in others, right? The belief is already there. We just need to tap into the belief that's already there. They already believe certain things. And that's why when you share your story, the epiphany moment that happens is a moment that will connect. It will connect to them in their belief systems. They will connect to that story and they'll want to know more because you're tapping into something they already believe. And to me, I feel like that's how you can shape perspectives is by tapping into beliefs that's already there through your story. That's how you can affect transformation. That's how you can affect change. And obviously, having a personal brand, we're there to transform people in multiple ways, right? And you're there to educate, inspire, entertain, um, inform. They see you as this source where their lives can be better. Comedians are making people's lives better through laughing. Models are making people's life better through looking good. Hair influencers are making lives better by showing them new hairstyles and they could implement this hairstyle right now and go to work or whatever. So whatever you're doing to help and impact others is to make sure they have a better life. So as your personal brand is existing, we need to bring out your story. We need to bring out your story to have a connection. And I know a lot of us may come from that school of thought where it's like, how do you stand out is to be different? I agree to a certain extent. I feel like how to stand out is to be different, but still know how to connect. That means I grew up with a lot of people who were super different. And I grew up with some people who are the same, right? So I've seen, copycats or clones, and clones rock with clones. So if you're a clone, you're just going to be in that clone group. Then I seen different. And I was always in the middle. I always felt like I can talk to the clones, that I could talk to the difference. And I was just that person. I was just going in both schools of thought. I can go speak to a different person and learn what they're about, and I could be with the clones and blend right in and just chill. But on both sides, they both knew I was different to them too. But I knew how to connect to them. And my connection is what allowed me to sustain the relationship, the friendship. It's because even though I was on the different side with the difference, I connected. And even though I was with the clones, I connected. I took my time to understand them and I had some level of connection, which made me iconic in my high school, right? Because it's like, who's this guy always smiling, always happy? You can catch him with different types of people. They're laughing, they're getting along. It puts this level of energy on you. And I've always had that. And I feel like that's the beginning of an icon, right? Having that ability to connect to people, or some people call it relate, being relatable. So I know it's about being different to stand out, but I'll say be different, but still connect, still know how to connect. I knew some people in my school who were like super different. They didn't connect at all. And it's just like, they don't want to connect. And that's cool. Some people don't want to connect. And then you got some people who, they're connecting all the way, and they're building relationships and they're moving forward in life in the direction they want to go because they know how to build connections, relationships, things that people are attracted to. They're subconsciously tapping into people's beliefs and how they're created and they're aligning with it, and that's what's giving them that edge. So let's just take one of my clients right now. She has a lot of success offline, but she has resilience, she has faith. She has these principles, she has this growth mindset. She has these things that helped her on her journey to be able to be successful offline, right? These things she's wanting to share. Like she wants to share with other women so they too can also tap into the source that she's tapping into, right? Because these gifts that she has is not hers, right? A gift is something you give to somebody, right? So, in a sense, she used her gifts in her realm to help herself become a successful entrepreneur, but also she employed many, many people. But now she's in that space where she wants to transfer that offline success online. So then you ask yourself, okay, how's she able to do that? And that's when I come in to truly understand her, understand how she was able to do it, develop her origin story, get her colors, just the whole branding thing that we do here at Content Sage, which is so amazing because it's like, I love seeing successful entrepreneurs offline become successful online and have an impactful audience and they're able to leave a legacy because the internet is not going anywhere, right? Personal brands, it's really one of the hardest things to create, but it's one of the longest lasting things. Once you have identified yourself as an icon living, you can weave in and out of social media and you will still be desired, you'll still be thought of. It's just one of those things where having a personal brand is important, and it's super important. Stories matter. And I feel like having that human connection is what's going to connect you beyond just posting whatever or just showing up online. It's like if you're able to connect your humanity with others, that too will just, you know, being able to connect your humanity, period, is the ability to grow your audience, get people to invest in you and believe in you, know, like, and trust you, and, patronize. You're able to monetize yourself off of that right now because you literally shared your human connection with others and people connect to that. They can feel something. And that's the thing. People want to feel something. Like I said in episode one. And when you share your human, when you connect through your humanity, it's nothing like that. It's nothing like that at all. And on my journey, because I started being a marketer, I felt like I needed to give all these marketing facts, like, your audience. Da, 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 da. I was giving so many facts, and my videos that did the most views was my storytelling videos. Like, hey, I ordered this gold iPhone and I gave it to my friend and he started using it in his home where I was telling stories and those got more engagement than just, hey, your audience needs to know this and that. And what's your audience? What's your CTA? I was giving too much facts. And I noticed facts doesn't translate through video. And then that's one of our key things. A lot of people, facts can probably translate through maybe audio or maybe books, but video facts does not transfer. And it's like a big surprise because a lot of people watch a lot of informative videos. But if you think about it, they're informing you in story form. They're not in the ones who are really doing well, they're not informing you by facts. Like they're not just standing here saying, you know, 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 plus 8 is 6. Like they're not just going off. That's boring. Your brain's gonna tap out. Instead, they're like, hey, let me tell you this story about how my cousin Sean, he went to the bar and he ordered 2 drinks. And he was like, I don't know if I should drink. And he called his cousin to come. And he's like, cuz, I'm having 2 drinks. And cuz is like, all right, order me 2. Right. And then it's like, all right. So that means he's telling the bartender, yo, let me get 4 of these drinks. And the bartender's like, all right, bet. What happened right there? 2 plus 2 equals 4. But I told you that in a story form. And I could quickly be like, well, how many drinks did Sean order? You're like, well, boom. And it's 4. Right. So it's like through a quick story instead of telling you facts. And I could show it to you in visuals and you would get it. That's just some quick stuff to understand that facts does not translate. Um, Stories do. And the more we tell stories, the more we can translate these epiphany moments, these aha moments, as the industry loves to say. Aha, I had an aha moment. I had an aha moment. But yeah, no, definitely, definitely, those epiphanies, those moments where it connects. And that's connection. Epiphanies are connection. You're meeting somebody where there was like a blockage and you said something and they heard something and a pathway opened up and they're like, the pathway to what they already knew, but there was a blockage. And that's why I love epiphanies because it's like, you already know it's just a blockage there. There's a, something blocked you from knowing. And you paying attention or you receiving this story helped shift it in a way so this blockage can go. And then you're like, oh, and the epiphany hits you like you been knew it. That's the power of epiphanies. It hits you and you're like, oh yeah. And it connects deep. And then you're like, whoa, I can't believe this whole time. That's epiphanies. That's how they work. And that's what we do in our stories. We tell stories with epiphanies built in because nobody likes for you to tell them what they should get out of the story. You should just tell the story. And the epiphany that's baked in, they'll get it themselves. You want them to be like, oh, instead of you saying, so this is the epiphany you should get. No one likes that. No one likes that. The best stories are the ones where people just get it on their own. They're just like, oh, yeah, those are the best stories. And that's what we help you dial in at Content Sage. Um, to me, I feel like most of the stories we tell pulls trust, pulls empathy out of the audience, and relatability. These are some of the key things that we dial in, but we need to get to know your stories so we can like see these areas so we can mold it, you know. Um, it's something about storytelling that just gives a level of comfort and it just makes everyone feel like they're around a fireplace about to melt some s'mores on a stick. Like everyone just feels that way when they're hearing a story, or if you think of Disney movies, the beginning of Disney when it starts, and it's like, "Mhm," like you automatically feel good, like this good feeling. And it's like, then you start watching it and you're just watching it and the story keeps getting good and good. And especially if they wrote it very well. You're enjoying the story. And when it ends, you may cry, you connected to it. Um, that story. And that's what's important to know that the story is what's driving your whole personal brand, period. You're going to do so well at your story where people will tell your story for you. People will be your evangelist to other people about why they follow you, why they listen to you. They'll say your story. And it's like this story will carry along. And this is why they'll support you. Even when you change directions, they will still carry on the origin story, why they rock with you, why they should trust you in this new field because of your story, because of what you've done, because of what you shared and what they know about you and how much they connected. And that's the power of story and connection. So what we also do is help you figure out your brand's mission. I feel like a brand's mission is important. Like what is your mission? One of my clients, her mission is to help 15 women in her on with her online coaching and sharing and mentorship, help 15 women create $1 million businesses, you know? And it's like that's her brand's mission. So it's like, okay, let's make sure our stories are aligning with your brand's mission. You can have different brands' mission. There's a reason why you're doing what you do. Some people's missions are just to speak on the world stages to help change how education is in the hoods, and they want education to be accessible to everybody. So that's their brand's mission. Some people's brand's mission, like one of my clients, she's a chef. Her brand's mission is to teach people about food systems, especially like the African food systems. So when you think about that, each brand has a mission. There's a reason why you are telling stories, generating this energy from within and sharing it with others and connecting on a human level and getting them to invest their time, their resources with you so you could push forward this mission so this mission can become accomplished. And that's why I love personal brands. Like I've fallen in love with it because I understand what it takes. I know it's not an easy weight to lift. You definitely need the assistants. You need people who are good with strategy, brand strategy, and then also with executing of the actual content. And that's why when I birthed Content Sage, I wanted to just focus on the production. Like, okay, let me just make sure I got the right cameras, the right lighting, the right audio, and we're good to go. But that's not it. You also need the strategy. You need to know what's in the video, right? Because to me, I think as long as you have good audio, you can have crappy production. You can have good audio and great story. That's a lot more powerful than great production, great audio, and you're just not saying nothing. People will still watch because it looks good, but after a while, they'll just get out of there because it's like, you know, you've been on Netflix and Netflix done use the best cameras, the best whatever, but that story is lame. You know you're getting out of there. You know the moment something lame hits you, you're like backwards. Even if they got the best, cleanest cameras, the best audio, even if they put like some semi B actor in there, right? You're going to click out. And it's happened to me even when they put an A actor. So like there was this one corny movie with Denzel. He's a personal brand. And he took this movie was just so corny to me. But because of Denzel, the brand, the story that I tell myself about him, how he's been able to infiltrate my mind and have real estate of being one of these iconic actors, I had to watch it and I kept giving it like I was turned off so many times, but I kept watching it because I'm like, no, this is Denzel. And then I accepted, like, yo, I think Denzel selected a crappy movie because this joint whack, and with actors, there's certain actors where I give them 2, 3 times. I give them 2 or 3 times to disappoint me. Once they've disappointed me, I now know like, oh, you've lost your edge. You're just doing it for the money, or you're just selecting any role now. You're not intentional with your role selection. And I can't trust that if I put my time and energy into you to watch you, I'm going to receive what I'm known to receive from you. I'm not going to receive that anymore. Now, if you take that ideology that I just shared with you, how we naturally operate as humans, that's how people are operating with you, with your iconic personal brand. You're going to start off by telling your story, sharing your story, showing what you can do. Let people see what you can do. And they're going to be stunned like, yo, this is hard. This is the best stuff. Whoa, who is this person? Oh, I'm going to follow. I want to check more for them. Like, this is good. Like, they really connected with me. They really made me feel something. Boom. Now they see the offerings you do, the other content you do. Everything's just connecting. Everything's hitting. And you're just known for being a pound for pound hitter. You write a book, it's hitting. You drop a course, it's hitting. You do a seminar, it's hitting. You do a webinar, it's hitting. You do a conference, it's hitting. You do a podcast, it's hitting. Anything you go on TV, it's hitting. Anything you do, it's hitting because you've dialed in your personal brand and they know you're going to deliver that way. They know. Me, I've forgiven Denzel for that because he's also given me some bangers right after that. So I know there's times where you could be off because we're all human. I know it's hard for us consumers sometimes when we're consuming other content to recognize that this person is human and sometimes they're gonna pick a bad role or whatever. And it's like, it's cool. But you just want to pray that they've done a good job at connecting with you so you can forgive them. Hmm. That was a bar right there. Hmm. Hmm. People can do such a good job at connecting with you that you can forgive them. And that just revealed to me the power of forgiveness. It's about how well are you connected to this person? Hmm. Yeah. That's all they say. People that you connect to for real, they can't do any wrong. They can't do any wrong. And I think that's where, but anyway, that's sidetracked. That's where the manipulators come from. And I think that's where narcissism and all that come from is because they super connect with you. And then it's like, you look at them like they can't do anything wrong. And then when they start doing wrong, you just can't believe it because of the deep connection you have. But anyway, that's a sidebar for something else. With the personal brands that I work with, we're not into that narcissistic stuff. We're into creating a legacy, right? Building an impact and sharing it with the masses, especially with who we selected to be our target audience. our target avatar. We believe in that. We believe in shaping and molding and giving back, right? Because you're successful offline. You have all these businesses, you're making the money. And it's like, how do you give back? How do you start expanding your reach? How do you stay current? And that's why I tell my clients to get online, because it's like the more you stay offline, the less you're going to break through, because the online space is growing every single day. And if you're not getting in the wave now, you're going to be out of the wave. Like, it's literally one of those things where you might start sounding like those grandpa and grandpas that be like, "Come here, Sando, show me how to work this thing. How you guys get on that thing called the internet?" And it's like, yo, are we in 1997? Like, it's 2024, about to go on 2025. Like, we're not doing that right now. And so it's just one of those things where, like, adapt or die, right? And right now, personal brands and you taking it seriously by cultivating it through your story and building in connection, human connection, and being able to effectively share it online through diverse strategy and proper production. This alone will put you in the top 10, and you can just continue that journey. And that's what we do with our clients. We just get them in the top 10 of creators in their space, because it's like, there's no point being a bottom feeder. There's no point in being down there. If you're aligning with a professional and we dial in your brand story, your brand's mission, your content strategy, we dial all this in and we're like, listen, we're going to go for it. This is how we're going to do it. Yeah, you're going to be within the top 10%. Taking the insights that I've said, even in this podcast right here, and you apply it, you're already in the top 10%. So thank you for listening. This is Icon Living Podcast. Today was based on connection and why it's important that as you go online, as you share, stop thinking more about you and think about who you're here to serve and how you can connect with them. I feel like that's way more important than thinking all about you. And that era of posting what you want to see and what you want to do is over. The era now is, what I'm doing, how does it connect with who's viewing? And how it connects, is it helping them have a better day, a better life? Is it giving them some breakthrough? Now that is what you need to think about. And the more you think about that, you'll be more aware about the next thing you post. And you'll say, this that I'm posting is going to give them a better day, because this is what I'm building in their mind about who I am and what I can do for them. And over time, they will feel like they can know you. They'll feel like they know you. They feel like they can trust you. No, they'll feel like they like you. They'll feel like they know you. And then they will eventually trust you. And I feel like that's powerful. That's why storytelling is key. And also that's why connecting, human connection, is key. And remember, I said you could be different, but still connect. So be different, stand out, but connect. Let's not be clones here, right? We're not in it for the clones. I'll let the AI robots be clones, but even then, I'll still want my AI robot to be different, because there's so many options. So you could be different, but still connect. That means there's some things about us humans that hasn't changed since we came out. How many years back we came out? There's still some things that's consistent. And all we have to do is just connect. Care to connect, care to help, care. How much do you care, right? How much do you care? That's important. Somebody crying right now and you feel moved to help them, you have to ask questions. You have to see what they're talking about so you can connect. Somebody just says, oh, my car broke down and I lost my wallet. You have to connect. And one of the best ways to connect is to tell a story like, oh yeah, I remember when that happened to me. Boom. I lost my wallet and, it was devastating. All my credit cards is in there, blase, blase. And then luckily somebody seen me, looked me up on Facebook, and they told me that they found my wallet, and, I went to go get it and I was relieved. And that's something that could possibly happen for you, definitely don't sit here crying. I feel like, do the due diligence of canceling your cards, but like how it happened to me, I feel like somebody may reach out to you. And if they don't, then maybe it's time to start over, you know? But anyway, that's just a minor way of telling stories. I'm sure you all know telling stories is everything. We all tell each other stories. And I did want to end it on the movie I was talking about, the movie that I was saying that, yes, the movie called Inside Out. I wanted to make sure I brought that point home because in Inside Out, she had some core beliefs. And anxiety was another feeling, and anxiety wanted her to keep being anxious. So anxiety went down to her core beliefs and started playing each string like a piano, like a harp, like do 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 do. And each string that he played, a story would come out like, "I'm not good at this. I will never be good enough. People look at me, they don't like me." Like so, he was playing all of this to give her more anxiety. So he went down there. Anxiety was a person. Went down there and started playing her harps of beliefs, of core beliefs, and most of them were like negative, and they were like really holding her back. And they just kept being loud. It's like the beliefs kept getting loud. It's like, I'm not good at anything. No one likes me. Da, 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 da. Like, he was just playing these joints. And it just really resonated with me that stories, like even this episode right here, I failed to record the first one. And I had to call to reach out to somebody because the story I was telling myself was, oh nah, it's done. Turn off all the lights, cancel, you'll try again tomorrow. And it's like, no, I told myself I'm committing to this episode. And it's like, there should be no reason why I should fail. But I knew I wasn't able to get it. So I reached out for help. I called one of my friends and I was like, hey, this is what I experienced. And this is what I'm thinking of doing. And instantly that person was able to just tell me, like, nah, King, you're able to, you're unlimited. You're not limited to just one 50-minute recording that didn't go well. You can continue to do this. You can continue to talk. You're an expert at this. Don't lose your steam. Go. And I heard that and I got charged back up. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Let me sit back down, get my lighting right, and record. Because I really do care about personal brands. I really do care about Icon Living Podcast. And I'm committed. I'm committed to seeing this at least 100 episodes through. So why get caught up on the second one? You know? So anyway, there's a lot of energy in here, a lot of transformation for you to think about. I'll definitely say, as long as you leave with understanding that connection is key, humanity is key, storytelling glues it all together, and your story matters. All right? This is King Obe. I'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.